We are following breaking news right now at 6 o'clock. For the first time, a court has found former President Donald Trump to be ineligible to return to the White House because of his involvement in the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. This ruling handed down tonight from the Colorado State Supreme Court.
Your political specialist Sean Boyd is here. And Sean, no other court has made a ruling like this.
Similar challenges have been brought in other states, but none of those states have the courts ruled on the merits of the case as the Colorado Supreme Court did. This landmark decision, should it stand, would mean Donald Trump cannot hold public office under the 14th Amendment. The former president has already said he's appealing to the U.S. Supreme Court. The majority at the Colorado Supreme Court decided that Trump is disqualified from holding the presidency under the Constitution's so-called insurrection clause, saying there is clear and convincing evidence that he engaged in an insurrection. It ordered Secretary of State Jenna Griswold to exclude his name from the state's Republican primary ballot. The decision was not unanimous. 3 justices dissented. 6 Colorado voters, 4 Republicans and 2 unaffiliated, filed the lawsuit that went before a Denver district court judge who also found Trump engaged in an insurrection, but said the insurrection clause doesn't apply to the president. The majority of the state Supreme Court disagreed, saying President Trump wants them to hold that the Constitution disqualifies every oath-breaking insurrectionist except the most powerful one and bars oath-breakers from every office except the highest in the land. They said he's ineligible to run under the 14th Amendment, which says you can't hold office if you engaged in an insurrection. Trump's campaign spokesman had this to say: the Colorado Supreme Court issued a completely flawed decision tonight, and we will swiftly file an appeal to the United States Supreme Court and a concurrent request for a stay of this deeply undemocratic decision. We have full confidence that the U.S. Supreme Court will quickly rule in our favor and finally put an end to these un-American lawsuits. But one of the voters who filed the lawsuit told me he believes the U.S. Supreme Court will uphold the state court's decision.
One of the things that you'll find in this ruling is some of its reliance is based on writings of Neil Gorsuch, Justice Gorsuch, and what he had to say about protecting ballots from people who did not belong on them. So I think there is actually a very good chance that we could win at the U.S. Supreme Court level.
The ruling was very detailed, totaling more than 130 pages. It is not binding on any other state, but it will no doubt be persuasive in other court cases. Lawsuits challenging Trump's candidacy have been filed in more than 25 states. The U.S. Supreme Court is up against a tight deadline. Colorado's ballot needs to be set by early January. So this sets up a very high-stakes showdown over former President Trump's eligibility just as voters in early states begin casting their ballots in the Republican primary.
All right, more to come.
Absolutely.
Sean, thank you.